guys, welcome back to episode 2 of A Creative in the Making. My name is Selena, and I am back. I don't even know how to do intros. I'm still getting the hang of, doing this, I'm still new to this. I'm gonna paint a picture for you. I am sitting on my bed in my sweatpants, holding my phone because I don't even have a proper mic yet. I bought this mic years ago. I don't know if you guys know the brand Blue. I don't even know the brand Blue. I just got it on Black Friday because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be consistent on my YouTube videos. Look, I haven't touched that thing since 2020. So I'm gonna have to learn how to set that up and connect it to my laptop. I don't know if I need a MacBook or something. I have a PC, a Dell computer, a hand-me-down my brother gave to me. But in the meantime, I'm going to be using my iPhone mic to record these podcasts. Honestly, when you're first starting out, you can't blame me, okay? When you're first starting out, you honestly, you don't need all that equipment, I mean, it's good to level up, right? But when you're first starting out, if you really want something, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. You know what I mean? You know how starting out on YouTube, they tell you don't need a fancy camera. You could just record on your iPhone or your phone. I mean, maybe not an Android because I'm not even gonna say. No, I'm just being a hater. But you know what they say, just use whatever you have. And as long as you're entertaining, if you have that personality, if you're cool, then you got it. You got it. You don't need... I'm just giving myself a pep talk. Eventually I will. I just need to learn how to connect and set up microphones, and I need to figure out what apps people use. I just don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm kind of on a budget. And that's a good transition to this topic that I want to talk about for today's video. For today's video, I want to talk about jobs. I want to talk about my first jobs and balancing out real world jobs and being a creative. So, my very first job was a sales associate at American Eagle at 16. I lasted maybe less than 6 months there. I was pretty hyped though, because American Eagle, at 16, not having money and being able to make money, that was such a big deal for me. And on top of that, we had 50 to 70% discounts. And do you guys know how much jeans are at American Eagle? Up to $50 to $60. And I would get my jeans for $20. So that was a big deal to me. And then one day, they just stopped scheduling me. And honestly, I get it. I was 16, maybe they just didn't see any use for me. I was just this awkward little petite woman, teenager thing. No, I'm talking so low of myself. I was pretty awkward. Just you know how 16-year-olds are, right? But honestly, the manager should have communicated better, So around that time when I noticed I wasn't getting scheduled to work, I don't blame them too, because I had school and I only had night shifts available, and at the time I wasn't driving, so I don't blame them. But they still should have told me up front, hey, we're gonna let you go. But they didn't. That's the thing, they didn't. And I ended up applying to Target. And I got accepted to Target. So then I wrote my 2 weeks notice and let American Eagle know I will be leaving. And they didn't care. I mean, they're like, okay. I probably was already let go and I just had no idea. Then at 16 to 17, I started working at Target as a cashier. So, oh my God, my hands are so sweaty. I have to switch hands. So, as a cashier at Target, it was cool and all. I really enjoyed the job, actually. But the thing is, I would work with a lot of like college students and adults. And I always had trouble fitting in. Like, I've always been the type to go to work and be out. Like, I didn't bother socializing. And I know now, like, socializing at work is great for networking. It passes time, and it's a good way to make friends and, like, long-lasting relationships, whatever. But at 16, 17, I didn't really care. Like, being a cashier, if you guys know, like, it's like, boop, boop, boop. And then, like, hi, how are you? Of course, I'd be professional. But, like, who would want to take this 4'10" little girl seriously, you know? And what I hated about that job was that you had to sell Target red cards. Like, you would have to not convince, but really sell the Target red card to the customers. And my manager on the duty, the manager on duty would be really hard on all of us. The manager on duty would be like, Selena, I didn't hear you ask the customer. And it's like, as a cashier and being at that age, it's like, I don't care that much. Like, what am I, a marketer? Do I have a degree in promotional marketing? No, I'm just here to boop, 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 scan items, bag it, have a good day. I didn't really care. And of course, like, around the managers, I would be like, would you like to sign up for the Target red card? You can get 5% off your next purchase or whatever. And, like, I'm not that desperate, but in front of my customers, I would be like trying to really sell it. And sometimes, like, I would notice that they would be interested if I didn't say it was a credit card, because the whole process of signing someone up is like, you have to get the voucher, you have to scan it, ask for their ID, proof of bank statements. It's like, who carries that around, you know? Like, once you ask for all of that, they're gonna say no. And you really, like, get hyped up once you do get people to sign up. And other workers would, get applauded, and on the walkie-talkies, they'd be like, congratulations, like, Alex from Target just sold 5 red cards today. And then it would make me look like a bum, It would make me look bad. I remember this one time I was working on Black Friday. They had all hands on deck. They had so much staff. And even though we had so much on staff, like, people still went to self-checkout, but that's besides the point. I sold, like, I want to say, like, 3 or 5, more or less, red cards. But I didn't know I had to tell the manager, causing me, I'm pretty sure, to get yelled at. And it's like, you weren't there. Like, I didn't tell you, but I did sell it. Like, give me the respect I deserve. But I really felt like they stopped scheduling me, like, after 6 months of me working there, because I didn't sell enough red cards as a cashier position. So I mean, even though it was a seasonal position, it's like, come on, you didn't want to keep me? So they told me that I would be done being scheduled like by December, but tell me why I was scheduled for January, like the next year, like why am I still being scheduled when you said that I'm no longer working next year? So I just ended up not showing up. I never showed up for my next shift. And at 16 and 17, at that age, like, I just didn't care. I was in high school. I was like, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to make any connections here. Like, nobody bothered to, like, really get to know me. Like, I would go in my break room and I would eat my Snickers bar for my 15, or it was a 30-minute break. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I would go back to work and just go home. Like, I wasn't bothered. And looking back, it's like, should I have made more connections? It didn't really matter. But, like, now I know, like, at this age, like, talking is essential because, like, I grew more confident, you know, and I feel like I can hold a conversation better than my 16-year-old self, you know? So after working at Target, I landed a job at Subway. And let me tell you, I loved that job. I lasted about 2 years there, and I became a senior. I became a junior sandwich artist to a senior sandwich artist. I got a raise of 25 cents. Wait, that's a lie. Because, like, at the time, minimum wage was, like, 11 or 12? And then it increased. But because I was a senior sandwich artist, I made a little more than my other coworkers. Yeah, that's right. I'm just playing. That's not... I mean, it's, like... It's an accomplishment, but, like, it's still kind of sad. Because, like, all that work, all of the trauma that I got from that job, was it worth $13.75 per hour? I don't know. But all I know is I met some cool people, my coworkers. They all liked me. I liked them. And it was such a experience, like, good and bad. Like, I learned so much from that job, even though it's just Subway. You guys are gonna call me crazy, but if you guys worked at food service or any customer service job, like, you know how mean people could get. Like, if you put too much sauce, too little sauce, if you don't give it their way, they're gonna be so heated. And then you have to kiss their booty cheeks and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll fix this for you, or let me see what I can do for you. I'm so sorry. You know, I learned a lot. I had so much patience. And at a certain point, I knew that I didn't want to be there forever, but I wanted to, like, stretch out the job, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted it to look good on my resume. 'Cause 2 years, that's pretty good. That's commitment. And I'd hope for my future jobs, they would see that and be like, whoa, this is a committed worker. But anyways, I knew at a certain point that I wanted to move on and find a job that related more to what I wanted to do in life. But at the time, I was in college and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working towards an associate's degree in social work or human services. I went to community college and I had to balance out working at Subway and doing volunteer work for my major. Like, we were required like 100 something, 200 something hours of volunteer work relating to social work. And even then, I didn't know if social work was my passion, but I knew I wanted like a starter point of my education, if that makes sense. Like an associate's degree is a good step just in case I wanted to continue or if I wanted to stop. Like, I think some degree is better than none. Even though, like, there are successful people. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, people are successful just from a high school degree. But I just wanted something for myself. Like, a beginning. Like, I don't know. Also, just to make my parents proud and see that I accomplished something. But anyways, I knew I didn't want to stay there forever. And I honestly wanted to be more creative, which is why after college, I graduated with my associate's degree and certificate in human services. But I wanted to figure out what my passions were because I've always been surrounded by creative people, even my own parents. My dad, he was an artist. He's painted beautiful Cambodian goddesses. My mom, she used to model back then. Like even my dad, he used to do video and photography. He would not professionally, but it was just a passion of his. It was his hobby, taking photos of my mom. And I feel like myself and my siblings followed their footsteps without even knowing. And after college, I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to keep spending my precious money on school if I didn't know 100% that I wanted a degree in social work. And going to community college, like maybe I'll make a separate video about this, but it was such a good decision. And I'm glad that I had people in my life to tell me that. My siblings, my friends went to community college, and you save so much money versus going to a university. And I highly recommend it if you're not 100% sure about what you want to do in life. So after Subway, I landed a work-study job. If you guys don't know what a work-study job, it's a job at your college that is paid through financial aid, which goes towards your tuition. So working at Subway, most of the money I would make, like I would work, 20 hours a week? All that money would go towards my tuition, which wasn't like too much, but it was still in the couple thousands. And like for that whole year, like previous years, my mom had helped me, my brother had helped me financially, but the whole year I was paying everything for myself. I would pay for Ubers, and all that money would go towards schooling and transportation. And that's also part of the reason why I decided to leave school, because I needed money. Like I wanted to make money and save, and I wanted to see what the real world was like. I didn't want to be boxed in, and I found myself not really learning from college. Like I didn't like memorizing things, and nothing was really sticking to me other than like small interactions I would have, like small moments I would have in class or outside of class, but that's about it. So after Subway, I had my work-study job, and I took that as new experiences, moving on from Subway, next chapter in my life. To then 2020, March of 2020, the pandemic happening, COVID happening, and then graduating during the pandemic and having online classes for the rest of the year. So that caused me to collect unemployment, and then later in the year, I landed a job doing taxes. And it just like, I was just feeling lost. Like, I had a degree in social work, human services, and now I'm in a tax firm. And the thing is, like, back to what I said earlier of me not opening up well with people, it was a lot of people older than me, married, settled down. Like, I just stopped caring about opening up to people at my jobs because I realized how temporary everything is. Actually, I just realized I left out some jobs that I worked at. I worked some other food service jobs between Target and Subway that were very short term. And I don't know if I want to get into it, but my point is I realized that jobs have been temporary for me. Whenever I open up to coworkers, it's just no point because I end up leaving. Like, that had become my mentality. And working at this tax firm, like, I just didn't feel like I belonged. Like, maybe it was my fault for not opening up as much, but inside I just felt like people didn't really care. Like, it was always small talk, like, hi, how's it going? How was your weekend? And they never really asked about, like, my life. And I just didn't bother because I just wanted to make money and go. And I wanted to, like, find my passions. And I was going through this crisis. Like, I wanted to do what I loved, but I didn't know what I loved to do. Like, I hated that I was working paycheck to paycheck to pay bills. For what? Like, I want to be working at a job that I love and that I'm passionate about. So I was Googling, like, what jobs do I genuinely want? And then I'm looking through all these jobs and I'm not interested in anything. Like, I was going through this crisis. Like, how is this life right now? Like, I enjoy modeling. That's creative, right? But I also like to, make clothes, and I just like multiple things, but I can't choose. I'm so indecisive. I don't know if that makes sense. Does anybody relate to this? Like, I don't know what I want. Especially when you're starting out, right? For modeling, you book some shoots, you build your resume, but you don't get a job out of it. Like, you don't get booked or signed right away. You have to work towards it, but also balance out the real world of paying your bills, paying rent, paying your electric and gas, car bills, and whatnot. Like, that's so much time and energy. It's like you need to conserve some of that for what you truly want to do in life. And now, present day Selena, I'm working at my new job, and I realize that I do open up more with people that have the same interests as you and that are around the same age group as you. So a part of me felt that maybe it wasn't me just being this awkward girl. It's like it has to do with like the work environment, like how inclusive they are, and it just depends on the type of people and how comfortable and welcoming they make you feel, if that makes sense. But I believe that the reason why I couldn't open up at my other jobs is because of the drama and gossip that came with it and fitting in. And it just really depends on the workplace. But I really think it's important to remember that as a creative, it's normal to take a break, to focus on getting at a better place financially, because I've been there and I feel like I lost my motivation in being creative, but I reminded myself that I need to pay these bills and it's normal. But the main thing to remember is to work at it slowly. You know, you're not going to get it right away, but if you have something steady on one side, on the other hand, do a little bit at a time, like one step at a time, and soon opportunities will arise for you. I learned that while I was unemployed during the pandemic, I lost so much motivation. Like, me not working, I thought would have been great. Like, this is dope. Like, I'm not working. I can focus on making YouTube videos. You know, I could do what I've always been wanting to do. But I found myself slacking. And I noticed that I work better and I schedule more shoots and reach out to people more when I have a job and I'm busy with something. Because I know I'm making money. I know money comes and goes. I could spend it. I'll make it back. And I can be more creative that way. Like, I can be more creative after work. Like, I'm the type to be productive for a whole day, or I'm more like driven when I know I have a routine going on. And that's normal. Like, I don't want people to think that we all have it, you know? Like, at least I don't. I want to normalize the hustle and feeling lost, you know? Like, people don't just get it right away. They don't just wake up and have it, you know? You gotta start somewhere. You gotta pick your battles. You have to see, like, what works for you. But you gotta start somewhere. And if you do it one step at a time, soon you're gonna get something. Soon you're gonna get somewhere, and I promise you that. So keep going. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, for me personally, scrolling through social media, I'd be like, damn, I wish I was consistent as this person. Whenever I would see someone post something like their work, I would have that constant reminder that I haven't been working on myself and I should be I should be where they're at. I found myself comparing to someone I don't even know, and I was blinded by my own overthinking. And then soon I snapped myself out of it, and I was like, wait, this is social media, and I could be doing the same thing. Whenever I post, I don't want people to think the way I'm thinking, you know? I don't want to post something and have people think that I have it all together, because I want them to realize, like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know? I'm winging it. I'm winging life. And the algorithm, you know? Like, I don't want people to compare themselves to me, because that's toxic, and I want everyone to win. Like, life is so short, and I don't know why my head goes there, but life is so short, and I don't want people to have any sort of jealousy or the type of feelings that I would feel seeing other people's work. If anything, we should be inspired, right? And especially around here, like, there's so many creative people. I think we should just be supportive of one another, and it's just realistic, like, especially with, like, your own friends. You wouldn't want to compare yourself to your own friends. Like, we're all gonna eat, you know? And I noticed that it just looks like we have everything. It looks like we have everything all set in place and things are all figured out, but it's not like that. Like, what's real is that we wake up feeling sad, and we should just stop comparing ourselves to other people. But yeah, trust the process, right? And stop comparing yourself to other people. Keep doing your thing, okay? That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for listening. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Send me any questions. I don't know if I want to make this podcast a video format or keep it with just the audio, or if I want to stay solo, or if I want to work with other creatives in the area. So just let me know what you guys want, or I'll let you know what I want. I'll keep you guys updated. I might change my mind. I may not. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.